Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another night of Facebook Live. Also, I want to recognize those that catch me on the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you tonight. As tonight, we're going to talk about the mind. Tonight, my topic is your mind has to shift. And I believe that it is so timely, and I believe that it is so important that we address this now rather than later, because the mind and the state in which our minds are impacts everything that goes on in our lives. So guys, as you are logging on and joining me tonight, as I see some of you are, it is indeed a blessing to have you here with me, because what that does, it keeps me encouraged, it keeps me uplifted, and when I know that you are here, it also helps me to provide content that is important for all of us to grow and develop together. And so this is why I wanted to come tonight, and I just wanted to share with you a word of encouragement to let us know that it is important that as we advance in our lives, that our mind also must make the necessary shifts. We have to, guys. There is no way around it. So as you guys are joining me tonight, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know that you're there. Not only that, but hit that like button and also share it so that others on your timeline can join in the discussion, because I find that if I'm blessed by something, or if I'm encouraged by something, that people that are connected to me also share in that blessing or that encouragement. And so it's all about spreading that love and spreading positivity so that we can all grow and develop together. So if you're there, go ahead and hit that like button and share it, and or also just leave me a comment, say hello, let me know that you are with me tonight. It means so much to me. So again tonight, I just wanted to briefly just address the mind and the mindset, because so many of us are doing so many great things. We're getting creative. We're stepping out on our gifts. We're sharing our gifts. And also, we are doing things now that we have never did before. And maybe we didn't do it because of fear, or maybe we didn't do it because of obstacles or barriers in our way, or maybe we didn't do it because the people around us was, in a sense, holding us back. So, whatever your reason is for now stepping out into new territory and expanding and taking the risk that is necessary for you to fulfill your purpose, I, for one, let me just take a moment to applaud you and commend you in the great efforts that you are doing, because it is so necessary, guys. But more than just us exercising our gifts and living our purpose, what is going to be more necessary than that is that we don't neglect to make the necessary shifts in our mindsets. And this is the game changer, guys, because, you know, I talked about it briefly in my book, Time to Talk, how we that are in these religious organizations and these religious establishments, how we move only so far and then we are stuck. And it's often because we have leaders that are leading a congregation of people, and they can only lead us so far until we all are just wandering around in the wilderness. And what I said was, where they lead us and begin to leave us wondering and seeking answers is in that place of deliverance. And it's because so many of our people who are in leadership positions have not been delivered themselves. Therefore, they're not able, or they don't have the capacity to lead us to the path of deliverance. And so this is where our churches get stagnant. This is where our communities seem stagnant. This is where our families are stagnant. This means this is where we continue the same cycle. This is where we continue the same mindset. This is where we continue the same issues year after year after year. So guys, let me tell you, when you're living in your purpose and when you're living your life and you're going into new territory, this is where it is so important that you also make the necessary shifts in your mind. So this is where you see so many of us, we're stuck. And we're doing a work and we're doing good work. And maybe our heart is in that work, but there's always a drawback, something that continues to draw us back. And it draws us back by something we entertain. It draws us back by words we speak. It draws us back by the same old attitude. It draws us back by the arrogance and the pride that begins to manifest and surface. So the shift is necessary. It's necessary that the shift takes place in your mindset, because it's good when we make that first shift. That first shift, that's easy. It doesn't take much. It's just having our minds made up. Our minds are easily made up and say, we're going in this direction. But did you know that to continue in that direction, it's going to take a continuous shift for every level that we entertain, because without that shift, we're going to find ourselves looking back in the rearview mirror. And this is where so many of us are struggling. We're struggling with who we are. We're struggling in our roles as leaders, in leadership roles. We're struggling in our businesses. We're struggling in our careers. We struggle with who we are. Especially when that trigger shows up and it hits a nerve and we find ourselves going back with that same old nasty attitude, going back with that same old prideful nature, going back and seeking out those same old familiar things. And so it is necessary, guys, that as we grow and as we're stepping out, taking on new grounds and new territories, that we do not neglect our minds. The mind has to make the necessary shift as well. I was thinking back at the biblical story when it was talking about the slaves of Israel, the children of Israel being delivered from the rule of Pharaoh. And how Moses came along and he was elected or appointed leader, and he led them out. He led them out so far, and they saw all kind of miracles and things like this happening along the way. Their needs were provided. They came from under the rule and the leadership of Pharaoh. They were in a sense free. But what held them there for a generation, for a cycle, is that they continued to keep the same mindset. The mindset never made the shift. And so, therefore, many had to die out. Many had to die out. Many had to die out before ever having a chance at the promised land. So I said that and I repeated that so that you get it. You're making new ground. You're going to new levels. You're experiencing new things. You're taking new risk. Don't die out because you neglect to shift this mindset. You neglect to put good things in here. You neglect to put sustainable things in here. You neglect to continue to grow and to learn and to expand your knowledge so that you are sustainable the higher levels that you try to go in your life. We need you. We don't need you to die out and faint along the way. Because do you know that businesses that fall by the wayside? Did you know that people who backslide? Did you know that all this that we see, where you hit a nerve and then they go back to that old nature, do you know all that is a result of the mind? It's a result of that inability to shift that mindset. Because they went so far, and that old mindset could only carry them so far. Did you know that's why it talks about how the new wine can't go into old wineskin? Because when that when you pour that wine in and how it needs to scratch and expand, something old can't scratch and expand the way it needs to support the new wine. And this is the same thing with our businesses or these new ideas, these creative ideas that we're stepping out on and taking the risk out on. We can't go into new territory with the same old mind that we had in Egypt or with the same old mind that we had when we were in Lodabar. We cannot do it. It just does not fit. Because with an old mindset, going into new territory and into new places, all it's going to do is draw us back to that familiar place to where we have been brought out of. The deliverance of our mindsets from poverty, from mediocre, from religion, all that, it has to be transformed. There's just no way around it. That's why you see a lot of marriages on the rocks. We marry, it's good, but we still come into the marriage with that single mindset. And the single mindset does not fit into a relationship to where we become one. Because when we become one, there's no room for selfishness. And oftentimes as single people, that's all we have to conform with. It's just me, myself, and I. But it does not work that way when we take that union and when we unite together. So it is necessary, guys. I cannot stress it enough that as you grow, as you expand, as you're being creative and taking on new territory in your careers, in your gifts, in your knowledge, in your families, it is necessary that you also remember to make the shift in your mind. It's necessary. Now, I hope that something I've said here tonight has been encouraging to you. I appreciate you being here with me. Don't neglect to leave a comment in the comment sections. Let me know that you're here. Don't neglect to like and share this video. Also, if you missed the videos, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can catch up on demand on your own time, because I know it's a sacrifice for you to be here with me. 10 o'clock every night, but so many of you do, and I so appreciate that. Just remember, if you don't take away anything else that I said tonight, always remember that as you grow and you go into different areas of your life, it is necessary that you also make the necessary shifts in your mind. That way you're sustainable and you have a greater foundation to stand on, and you're more likely to succeed. I am your host, Antricia Brace Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I appreciate you being here with me tonight. I'll see you right here again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Good night, everybody.